Chapter 37, Those Ranges in Ranks. In the name of God, the gracious, the compassionate. By the arrangers in ranks. By the forces that repel. By the memory which follows. Your God is indeed one. The Lord of the heavens and the earth, and what lies between them, and Lord of the Easts. We have adorned the lowest heaven with the decoration of planets. To guard against every rebellious devil. They cannot listen to the command up high, and they are bombarded from every side. Outcasts, they will have an eternal retribution. Any of them who snatches something away, he is pursued by a piercing flame. So ask them, are they the more powerful creation, or the others we created? We have created them out of sticky clay. While you were awed, they simply mocked. When they are reminded, they do not care. When they see a sign, they make fun of it. They said,
"This is nothing but evident magic. Can it be that after we die and become dust and bones, that we are resurrected? What about our fathers of old?"
Say,
"Yes, and then you will be humiliated."
All it takes is one sound, then they will be staring. They said,
"Woe to us, this is the day of judgment.
This is the day of decisiveness that you used to deny. Gather the transgressors, their mates, and all they served, beside God, and guide them to the path of hell. Let them stand and be questioned. Why do you not support one another? No, for today they have totally given up." Some of them came to each other, questioning. They said,
"You used to entice us from the right side."
They replied,
"No, it was you who were not those who acknowledge. We never had any power over you, but you were a wicked people. So our Lord's decree is now upon us, that we will suffer. We misled you, because we were astray."
Then, on that day they will all share in the retribution. This is how we deal with the criminals. When it was said to them, "There is no God except God," they would be arrogant. They would say,
"Shall we leave our gods because of a crazy poet?"
No, he has come with the truth and he has confirmed the messengers. You will taste the greatest of retribution. You are only recompensed for what you have done. Except for God's servants who are dedicated. For them will be known provisions. Fruits, and they will be honored. In the gardens of bliss. On furnishings which are opposite one another. They will be served with cups of pure drinks. Clear and tasty for the drinkers. There is no bitterness therein, nor will they tire from it. With them are attendants with wide eyes and a splendid look. They are like fragile eggs. So then they approached one another, questioning. One of them said,
"I used to have a friend."
Who used to say,
"Are you among those who acknowledge this? That if we die and turn into dust and bones, that we would be called to account?"
He said,
"Can anyone find him?"
So when he looked, he saw him in the midst of hell. He said,
"By God, you nearly ruined me. Had it not been for my Lord's blessing, I would have been with you. Are we then not going to die? Except for our first death, and we will not be punished."
Such is the greatest triumph. For this let those who will work endeavor. Is that a better destination, or the tree of bitterness? We have made it a punishment for the transgressors. It is a tree that grows in the midst of hell. Its shoots are like the devil's heads. They will eat from it, so that their bellies are filled up. Then they will have with it a drink of boiling liquid. Then they will be returned to hell. They had found their parents astray. So they too have hastened in their footsteps. Most of the previous generations have strayed before them. We had sent to them warners. Thus note the consequences for those who were warned. except for God's servants who are dedicated. Noah had called upon us, for we are the best to respond. We saved him and his family from the great disaster. We made his progeny the one that remained. We kept his history for those who came later. Peace be upon Noah among the worlds. It is such that we reward the righteous. He is of our acknowledging servants. Then we drowned the others. From among his descendants was Abraham. For he came to his Lord with a pure heart. When he said to his father and his people,
"What are you serving? Is it fabricated gods, instead of God, that you want? What do you say of the Lord of the worlds?"
Then he looked towards the stars. He said,
"I am sick of this."
So they turned away from him and departed. He then went to their idols and said,
"Can you not eat? What is the matter, you do not speak?"
So he then turned on them, striking with his hand. Then they approached him outraged. He said,
"Do you serve what you carve? While God has created you, and all that you make."
They said,
"Build for him a structure, and then throw him into its fire."
So they wanted to harm him, but we made them the losers. He said,
"I am going to my Lord, he will guide me. My Lord, grant me from among the righteous."
So we gave him good news of a compassionate child. When he grew enough to work with him, he said,
"My son, I am seeing in a dream that I am sacrificing you. What do you think?"
He said,
"Oh my father, do what you are commanded to do. You will find me, God willing, patient."
So when they both had peacefully surrendered, and he put his forehead down, we called him, "O Abraham, you have acknowledged the vision." It was such that we rewarded the righteous. Surely, this was an exacting test. We ransomed him with a great animal sacrifice. We kept his history for those who came later. Peace be upon Abraham. It is thus that we reward the righteous. He was of our acknowledging servants. We gave him the good news of the coming of Isaac, a prophet from among the righteous. We blessed him and Isaac. From among their progeny, some are righteous, and some are clearly wicked. Indeed, we have given our grace to Moses and Aaron. We saved them and their people from the great disaster. We supported them, so that they became the winners. We gave both the clear book. We guided them to the straight path. We kept their history for those who came later. Peace be upon Moses and Aaron. We thus reward the righteous. Both of them were among our acknowledging servants. And Elias was one of the messengers. When he said to his people,
"Would you not be righteous? Would you call on Baal and forsake the best Creator? God is your Lord, and the Lord of your fathers of old."
But they denied him. Thus they were called to account. Except for God's devoted servants. We kept his history for those who came later. Peace be upon the family of Elias. We thus reward the righteous. He was one of our acknowledging servants. And Lot was one of the messengers. When we saved him and all his family. Except an old woman who remained. Then, we destroyed the rest. You pass by their ruins in the morning. In the night. Do you not understand? And Jonah was one of the messengers. When he escaped to the charged ship. He was guilty, so he became among the losers. Thus a whale swallowed him, and he was the one to blame. Had it not been that he was one of those who implored, he would have stayed in its belly until the day of resurrection. So we threw him on the shore while he was sick. We caused seaweed to grow on him. We sent him to 100,000, or more. They acknowledged, so we gave them enjoyment for a time. So ask them, are the daughters for your Lord, while the sons are for them? Or did we create the controllers, as females while they witnessed? Indeed, it is out of their falsehood that they say,
the Son of God.
They are liars. Has he chosen the daughters over the sons? What is wrong with you? How do you judge? Will you not remember? Or do you have a clear proof? Bring forth your book, if you are truthful. They invented a kinship between him and the jinn. But the jinn know that they will be gathered. God be glorified from what they describe. Except for God's servants who are dedicated. As for you and what you serve, you cannot let away from him. Except those who are destined to hell. Every one of us has a destined place. We are the ones who are in columns. We are the ones that glorify. They used to say,
if only we had received a reminder from the previous generations, we would have surely been God's loyal servants.
But they rejected it. They will come to know. Our word had been decreed to our servants who were sent, that they would be made victorious, that our soldiers are the winners. So turn away from them for a while. Observe them, for they will see. Do they seek to hasten our retribution? Then, when it descends into their courtyard, evil will be the morning, for they have already been warned. Turn away from them for a while. Observe, for they will see. Glory be to your Lord, the Lord of greatness, for what they have described. Peace be upon the messengers. Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds.